kitchen.
Do it for the mic.
There's a call in the kitchen.
You're my favorite Olsen twin. You got Ashley. You got your Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next size up, you got your Michelle.
Well, there's Mary Kate.
Oh, is it Mary Kate?
Yeah, Mary Kate.
There's
Ashley.
no Michelle?
Not that I know of.
And then you got your Dan Woodard. That's the biggest one.
Well, you have... Did you cover the Scarlet Witch?
Which Olsen's that?
It's the well-adjusted one.
So she actually is one of the two.
Yeah, she's one of the three. There's Olsen twins and another sister who's the Scarlet Witch.
For the Marvel series.
Yes. I have to now look it up.
Okay.
Because we're recording this.
Yeah. But we have to know. I always wondered if other Olsen, because she looked enough like one of them, but I was like, you're not one of the twins.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes.
Can't unhear it.
This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum.
And I'm not even feeling bad, so I just watched everything on Disney Plus that I had access to at the time.
This is me.
Yep.
It was a wild time.
That was weird. I spent 14 days in one room. Yeah.
And they were like, can we please go on a trip? And you're like, we Punta Cant.
So no,
I got it on tape.
you got it. That's one of my favorite songs by the Butthole Surfers.
Punta KUNTZs.
Yes.
Welcome to the Backwards Beats podcast. I'm Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Dan Woodard.
And we are very interested in media tonight.
We are.
We've spoken about many medias, music, TV, movie, multimedia, and the arts. We've watched quite a bit of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really here to do one thing this evening.
We're here to speak of Diana Ross and the Supremes.
And this is not your average album. In fact, Rolling Stone magazine has provided us with Diana Ross and the Supremes Anthology, which consists of 50 songs.
So actually, let me correct that a little bit. You are correct. The original version, the 1974 version, if you have an original pressing, 1974 is 34 songs.
Oh.
However, it's really hard to come by the 34 songs. We could have been more diligent and hand-picked the 34 songs on that original pressing, but we only have access to the 2001 version. There are several versions of this which have the 50 songs. And because we're a little lazy, we went through 50 songs.
Yeah, why not?
Instead of 34.
We're going to go listen to the damn thing.
Yeah. This album ranks number 452. This is our 49th real episode.
We're getting there, man.
We're getting there. We're almost 10%. And on Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest albums of all time list.
When you say real episode, we've been putting out a lot of side content as well.
Yes.
Most recently, we released our favorite Rebellious Revolution songs.
We also did Bo Diddley, songs about civil disobedience. I think that was a pretty decent episode.
Hold on, Bo Diddley was not civilly disobedient.
No, we did. So we did civil disobedience, then we did Bo Diddley.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you don't look too far back, anything that says side tracks or, we're starting to play with content that's not just canon to the list. You'll always get every week your feed.
Yes.
No question about it. But sometimes we have a call to action or a good idea at 2 a.m. and we want to text each other and say, do you want to put together a thing?
Yep. And so when I say those recently came out in our universe, but we're now on episode 63.
It's pretty good.
And this would be the 49th album off of the list.
So we'll eclipse 50.
About to.
At the end of the episode, if you hang in here,
Yeah.
you'll hear who we're going to do it with.
Who are we going to do it with next week?
Who are you going to do it with, Dan?
Yeah. So we're here to talk about Diana Ross and the Supremes, which is not how they started. They actually formed in Detroit in 1959 as the Primettes, a sister group to the Primes. So the story kind of starts in Detroit's Brewster-Douglass like housing projects in the 1950s. And it's really like a social center where a lot of Motown acts like kind of met. So Brewster-Douglass was one of the first federally funded housing projects for Black residents in Detroit. And it produced a tight-knit community where teenagers kind of cross paths as they would through the recreational centers and local talent shows. And it's where Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, and Diana Ross first became friends and started singing together as teenagers.
Wow. Long relationship.
Yeah. And around that same time, a local male group called the Primes, featuring Paul Williams, Eddie Kendricks, and Eddie Kendricks was building a reputation as a Detroit doo-wop group. And Ballard met Williams and Kendricks through the neighborhood and school connections, and they became socially connected before they ever were professionally linked. So if these names don't sound familiar, they will soon.
Good.
So the Primes manager, Milton Jenkins, saw an opportunity, a girl group, which was sort of gaining popularity. And they wanted a female counterpart which could perform on the same bills with the Primes.
Ooh, you could even pick up like duets and stuff.
Right, so the Primes and the Primettes. And we'll talk about some duets later on in this episode. And so since Ballard and Paul Williams already kind of knew each other and both sang, Jenkins asked her to help assemble a sister group. So Ballard recruited her friends Mary Wilson, and they suggested Diana Ross. And this new group, the Primettes, literally named to be the female counterpart to the Primes. Counterpart.
Which is really weird because if you think about that, like, we don't have anything actually like that.
No.
We don't have like a fraternity, sorority version of a band in existence.
Yeah, what's the female version of Motley Crue?
I have two answers. They're both gross, and I won't say them.
Okay. What's the female version of Bad Bunny?
Oh, there. You could go. Well, there isn't a modern version of Bad Bunny currently that I'm aware of. If you were to look at,
I thought you were going to say Jessica Rabbit, but that's fine.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I was to make the argument for old Shakira.
That's good. Yeah.
I love old Shakira. We at this podcast love old Shakira.
We do love old Shakira.
I also love new Shakira, but I love old Shakira.
Yeah.
Jessica Rabbit, that's funny.
Yeah, there we go. So they became sort of a fairly, well, they were friends, the groups, the Primes and Primettes, and they became very practical, like cohabitants in this
indentured lovers.
Yeah, potentially. So if you don't know who the Primes are, can you tell me who the Primes became?
No, I cannot.
They became the Temptations.
Wow. Those little guys. Jesus. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. So
but then again, this is Detroit in the late 50s.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, can you sing? We're going to make you really famous.
Yeah.
So is David Ruffin in this at all at this point?
So now, so we have the Primes and the Primettes. Primes become the Temptations. The Primettes become the Supremes.
Yes.
Which on this album they do a couple songs together.
I was going to say there's some male vocal that is scattered in.
Yeah, that's the Temptations that are coming in on these compilations. So the Primes were signed to Motown Records in 1961 by Berry Gordy, who's fairly well known
for taking young black people's money for very, very cheap.
All right, we'll go with that. They were rebranded as the Supremes.
It's true.
Yep. And initially marketed as a teenage vocal group within Motown's roster. Diana Ross gradually got positioned as the lead vocalist, creating some tensions within the group.
Of course.
And so going through the key members of the Primes/Supremes, we have Diana Ross. She became, as I said, the lead vocalist. She's known for her lighter, more conversational vocal style, which actually crossed over to pop radio. And she was the one that Berry Gordy's like, if we think about like the Ronettes, she's the Ronnie in this
Of course.
equation.
No, this is Simon Cowell picking his Harry Styles.
That's correct. Even though we talked about how that happened in an early episode
Indeed.
when we talked about the album Fine Line by Harry Styles. So if you want to go check out that episode, do that. That was a bonus sidetracks episode as well.
It's a killer listen to, y'all.
Yeah. So we also have Mary Wilson, founding member and longest serving Supreme. She became like the group's historian. There have been many Supremes over the decades.
Yeah, no, who do you fill in? She's steadfast.
Yeah. She's the one. Florence Ballard. And we should talk about Florence a little bit here. Rest in peace. She's a founding member. She really came with this gospel influence and known for a very powerful voice and stage presence. But she became unhappy with this group's direction after Motown said, Diana Ross is really the girl.
Yeah. Flo wanted to be first seat.
Or just, other bands have had this. No Doubt had to deal with this with Gwen Stefani. Paramore's had to deal with this with Hayley Williams. There's more modern versions of Edie Brickell and New Bohemians.
Whoa, we got it in.
There we go.
Sick.
So there's other versions of this where the lead singer became the prominent person. Edie Brickell was just a member of that band.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yep.
And the
Beauty and the Beast.
Here's the difference is
Yep.
in bands, the singer almost always will get the recognition.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me off the top of your head who the bass player for Blues Traveler is.
Right.
But you can tell me who the lead singer is.
Right.
It's so like the end game is it just happens.
Yeah.
Now when you have a bunch of singers, that as one can imagine gets really contentious.
Yeah. So Florence eventually left the band because of these tensions. She, went down this vat of alcoholism and depression. And so she left in 1967. She's removed from the group after showing up at the Flamingo Hotel drunk, which is unfortunate. And she actually went into like financial, she went into bankruptcy. It took a while for her to get settled financially with the group. So there's a lot of stuff that went on.
So she is dive bombed.
She dive bombed. And so by the 1970s, she was like poverty, depression, and had a lot of bad stuff going on. She entered rehab at the Betty Ford Clinic in 1974, and she had actually a bit of recovery for a bit until she died of a heart attack in 1976. So,
Oh, brutal to go through all that work.
yeah, so she really kind of considered like the tragic story of this group.
Yeah.
But she's featured in this album. We should come back to Barbara Martin, who is one of the original members in the early years. She left in 1962 before the first major hit, but she shows up
What a
on here.
time to leave.
Yeah.
Way to pull your stock.
Yep. Cindy Birdsong. What an amazing name.
What a name, yeah.
Yeah. So she replaced Florence in 1967, and she was previously a member of Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells.
Hey.
Yeah. And she contributed to the late 1960s hits, including songs like Reflection and Love Child, bangers. And yeah, so there's a bit of bitch. Jesus. There's a bit of a story. That was a slip here. Coming in here. And really, they were like Motown's like most commercially successful act.
And for a great reason.
Yeah.
When you listen to the music that was coming out over the course of, the one upside of inheriting an anthology and the huge homework of listening through what we did is you get to kind of hear evolution over the course of it.
Yeah.
My God, did they visit a lot of styles.
They surely did.
But the one constant was always Diana Ross.
Yeah, there are a couple songs in here that feature other singers.
Yep. But she just was such an anchor for this piece.
And what's really cool about listening to this anthology is as she aged and got better at her craft,
Yes, she did.
not that she was ever bad, but you can just hear her voice like get richer and fuller. As in these early tracks, her voice is actually pretty thin, pretty light.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a combination of course, production as
Yeah.
tech roles, but also like you're younger, you mimic.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the very early tracks, which we'll talk about a few of them, sure, in the next segment, but you can hear this kind of like old doo-wop, like mimicking, and then you get down the line, and she grows into her voice not maybe physically speaking as much as mentally speaking.
Yeah.
Just she has the legs to like really get under it and then start to sound like the Diana Ross that I want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about some other influences and how things came together in a couple minutes.
Yes, we will. Let's just say before we get going on this.
Wait, we're going to cover every song ad nauseum, right?
I believe we budgeted 8 minutes per minute of each song for 50 songs.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're going to need a new hard drive. We're just kidding. We're going to abbreviate this really, really well. We'll tell you all about it on the other side of this break.
This week on Almost Groovin', live from the community center basement, it's time to watch white folks give the sound of young America their very best attempt. Watch in amazement as our contestants battle the greatest enemy of the Caucasian persuasion, the backbeat. For tonight's lineup, we start with the Casserole Sisters. 3 PTA mothers from Yonkers, New York, take the stage, but they're so pale they're reflecting the stage lights back onto the audience. Their hand gestures look less like Motown and more like they're directing a station wagon into a tight parking spot.
I went to the kitchen to find me a snack. Looked at the wall and the floor was all black. I waited for a long distance call, but you didn't ring or ling at all.
Up next, Arthur and the Accountants, a vocal quartet with the tightest harmonies this side of a local bowling league. They's attempting the 4 tops reach out. This has got the audience reaching for earplugs.
Now if you feel that you can't go on because all of your hope is gone and your life is filled with much confusion until happiness is just an illusion.
They got matching Sears and Roebuck's blazers, and they're clapping on the 1 and 3 like they're at a Lawrence Welk taping. And finally, we got the Wonder Bread Trio, our grand finale. 3 fellas attempting the Supremes glide and non-slip hush puppies. They got the stiffest upper lips in the tri-state area and a collective rhythm that's drier than a saltine cracker. Almost grooving. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a tab, and watch the soul leave the building.
So, did you know that Ice Cube is currently holding a record for being the longest running character in a still aired TV show?
A TV show that is, I think of that TV show. Have you watched, with a young child, have you watched much Phineas and Ferb?
No, because that was an older show. My kid only wants to watch Paw Patrol and the new If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
Great. So Phineas and Ferb is fantastic, but there's no difference between any episode, and that's the same thing with Ice Cube's TV show.
Exactly.
It's the same show.
Yeah.
Every show.
I believe it was John Mulaney had a pretty good bit on this one.
Yeah.
But he's holding in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, you're independently very wealthy. Mm-hmm. So he's just sitting in SVU for like the fun of it.
Right.
He's like, I sorry, honey, got to go to work today. Got to make up child rape stories again.
No, I know.
And you're like, no, we live in this world already. We don't have to make up nothing, bro.
Right. And we're about to get 3 million more pages of storyline for SVU.
Yeah. And guess, I hope he narrates it.
Jeez.
That's raw. But I think he really wants to just like own that actor role.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
When you get options. You could call him the conductor of that show, perhaps.
Yeah. Is he the H.B. Barnum of SVU?
I don't know. What's an H.B. Barnum?
H.B. Barnum is the conductor as identified in the liner notes for this album.
Okay. What's a conductor do?
He's the one who takes your ticket on the train.
I was going to say, yeah, Wheels on the Bus go H.P. Barnum.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that he gets, I mean, I understand why he gets top billing because there's a lot of orchestral parts of this album. It's just weird that he's top billing over Diana Ross in the liner notes.
That may simply be a machismo thing at that point.
It could be. Let the man talk.
Also, there's like conductor's such an odd designation for a project like this. Like I've never seen production that's mentioned that. So maybe conductor's a loaded thing. It's like he wrote the songs, he arranged the songs, he hired the musicians. You never know.
He
right?
didn't.
Oh, well, in that case, why the fuck is he the first one up there?
Right, he's the conductor. Like there's a whole songwriting like sort of group around this that isn't mentioned in the personnel in the lining notes. That doesn't mean that the H.B. Barnum is not important. It's just that I just thought it was kind of weird that
he gets first
top
hit. Yeah.
billing, right. So the songwriting group that backs a lot of this music is Holland-Dozier-Holland, which is HDH, and they're a production team consisting of Lamont Dozier, Brian and Eddie Holland. Those are the three people who write a lot of these songs.
Yeah.
And produce a lot of these songs.
And so they're just loving on their friend.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that the conductor gets top billing.
Perhaps for the sake of the anthology, he put the collection together too, like curated it. It's because people have gotten credits on the albums that these have been I don't know. There's a lot of opportunity here, but
Sure.
I'm not going to start a conspiracy theory about some old conductor. Like I don't need that in our lives.
So I mean, this anthology focuses mostly on the '60s Supreme stuff. Obviously, the Supremes have transcended generations, and there are a lot of Supremes that have gone through the decades here. But we're basically the 1960s, dipping a toe into some maybe 1970s.
You get there
stuff.
when you get towards like reflection and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's effectively a long decade.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, a lot went on. A lot of music.
Yeah.
And you think, they captured 50 for our collection or 34 for the original.
We're shaving that down.
We already know there's more. Yes. And so for the listener, we're not talking about 50 songs today. We might talk about 10. What we've done is we both listened to the whole project.
Mm-hmm.
I think I may have gotten 1.5 ways through before I abandoned and went, I'm going to start making a list on second listen of the ones I want to focus on.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, given that we usually have a week turnaround on these things, I struggle because I want a ski trip and then you watch the Super Bowl and that sort of stuff. So I only have one full listen through the 50 songs at 2 hours and 26 minutes or whatever that is. And I did much the same thing. So we've basically picked some key moments that we think, even though this is almost pretty much a no skips anthology.
All of these songs are good.
Yeah. But I will say, in my opinion, some of the really early stuff is not so divergent in its lyrical content or its musical content to say like, oh, I have a lot to say about I Want a Guy versus Buttered Popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, it's worth talking about I Want a Guy because for me, at least, I'm just going to walk right into my first song here.
Yeah,
so we basically picked
it's on my list.
Yeah. Is what was so interesting to me is that I had not really listened that far back to the Supremes. And it was interesting to hear this beginning because I think of them as more of a Motown into 70s music thing. So the fact that we have some of this early musical influence was not what I was expecting when this album opened up. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit further back in the time machine than I was expecting.
This feels kind of like a lounge act or like one of those kind of like pop rumbas. That Scott Bradley copies,
Mm-hmm. If you guys don't know Postmodern Jukebox, go check out Postmodern Jukebox.
Yeah, they've taken this archetype and applied it to modern songs.
Yeah.
And with that same credit, you end up getting a very restrained singing style as well.
Yeah.
That's like trying to put a person in a box. Nothing wrong with it per se, This is the kind of stuff that, Amy Winehouse drew from and kind of resurrected. Duffy did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it in the recording fidelity here. It's fuzzy and preamped to death, and there's something very charming about it.
Yeah. So this song was written by actually Berry Gordy and Freddie Gorman and Brian Holland, which is it's so funny because in modern music, I kind of and a lot of musicians will make fun of how many people does it take to write a 2 or 3 chord song, right?
Sure.
But there are 3 people on this one here, and the lyrically, this is just a lonely woman who wants a new lover who won't mistreat her. Like this is a trope song, but it was really intended for this sort of like teenage quartet type feel, and you definitely get that vibe.
Yeah, it's the other side of doo-wop.
Yeah,
and there's a couple neat instrumentation things going on here.
yeah,
I like the weird arpeggiated flute flourish.
Yeah.
Like very Jethro Tull. It's kind of distracting, but it's also kind of charming.
yeah. Are you saying this is Locomotive Breath before
Okay.
Locomotive Breath?
Perhaps it has
I
that
wouldn't have made that poll.
without the style though.
Yeah,
It's like we're gonna put this right in there. The conductor would tell you
Yes.
where it sits in the mix.
is Aqualung on the list?
Because it's Rolling Stone, and only because it's Rolling Stone, I say there's probably a chance.
That album
Objectively speaking,
is incredible.
probably not.
Oh, I love that album so much.
I've given it a listen or two. My dad was he's very much alive. He just doesn't play, but was a flautist.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have his flute here actually, an old Gemeinhardt, and I was given a Jethro Tull. I think it was Aqualung. I think it was given the album by my mom and dad in a box of albums one time. They were in a Chuck, so it exists somewhere in my collection.
Yeah. So I didn't think we'd do this, but I'll go down this rabbit hole for just a second. So we just in a previous episode that we just released, I think it was in our Bo Diddley episode, we talked about like Snowmageddon. We just had a big snowstorm here. Well, I'm old enough to remember a specific blizzard. I think it was like 1978, and I grew up and everything was shut down. And I remember cross country skiing from my house to this house across the river from me. And so those of us younger kids, I'm pretty young in 1978, 6 or something like that. And I go and we get into this house where these teenagers are hanging out and they're cranking Aqualung. And everyone in that room is so freaking
Going
cool.
Crazy to Jethro Tull.
Yeah. And so I'm like, this is so awesome. Sitting on a park bench. I'm like, it was like the best thing ever. So I may have a personal affinity to just remembering hanging out with these cool older boys. Right.
Yeah, those feelings never leave you.
Yeah.
That is the most definitive
Yeah.
musical part of life.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like preteen into teen music is like literally a person to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so cool. And so it was my next door neighbor's brother, who was super cool, who's, obviously a few years older. And I think currently like lives in Hawaii and is a surfer now. Right.
Poor guy.
Yeah. And so he's still cooler than I am all these years later.
He doesn't have a podcast.
He doesn't have a
does he?
podcast, but he's a surfer. So shall we move on from
We
I Want a
shall.
Guy? What's your song, my friend?
If we go chronologically through this anthology,
Let's do
I'll
that.
just call them as I kind of see them here. I think I'm gonna go for "Let Me Go the Right Way," and this song is a tune that, having listened to 50 Supreme songs,
Yep.
I actually wasn't hip to. I did not know this song coming in.
Me either.
Good.
Yeah.
Which is awesome and surprising, because when you look back on it, I knew so many songs coming in.
Yeah.
Their catalog's impressive.
It is. And there are songs that I knew on here that I didn't know I knew by title.
Yeah, and I tell you what, ones that I could probably sing half the words to, I still couldn't tell you the title.
Yeah.
But I know the hook, and that's, I guess, a testament to the songwriting and performance.
Yeah.
This song is really cool. This song makes the cut because the song form is incredibly interesting.
Yeah. How so?
Well, one of the things it does is it has this A section that is very traditional. Boom, taka, boom, taka, boom, taka.
Walk like a man kind of.
Precisely. I actually have like Frankie Valli sounding, Heart and Soul sounding, you know, background to it. And it's kind of really chill. And then you go to this B section and we get that pop rumba again.
Yeah.
Doom, cha, cha, cha. Right?
Yep.
Or doom, tika, da, da, doom, ta.
That's for sure what's going in there. Yep.
And it's kind of like a hard turn. This is not a time where you're getting a lot of pop presentation, lovey-dovey songs that suddenly do a big shift in direction rhythmically.
Yeah.
This one notably does it. But what really gets you is coming out of that B section, you think you're going to go back to the A section again, and you don't. You drop into this shorter C section that doubles down on that rumba part, but now moves to minor chords.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it like digs the hole and then digs it deeper and spits in it.
Yeah.
And then you finally get that A section back, which is if you want to make the argument, you have this like tension release going on.
Yep. Yeah.
I love this for us as listeners.
Yeah. And this is, again, another, it's a Berry Gordy, but Florence Ballard, who actually has a brief like lead vocal part in this one on the Go-Go Right.
That's her.
Yeah, that's
good to
her.
know.
Yep. And what's kind of and then eventually this release was an HDH release. So this was an early song, again, that Berry Gordy, because as Berry Gordy was trying to basically form Motown, you know, and formulate this band was definitely a
Stepping Stone?
a stepping stone, or well, kind of like the mastermind in many ways.
Got it.
Behind this. And when they first wanted to audition and did audition to Barry, he actually did say, well, why don't you come back once you graduate from high school? Right. Because they went into audition.
Good leadership,
Yeah,
Barry.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
leadership.
Yeah. So, it seems from the bit of research that I did, he seems like he was fairly stand up in the music world, because we have some other producers we don't even have to name, but there's a producer in this anthology that we have talked about already on 2 episodes who sucks as a human being. But Berry Gordy seems like he's a stand-up
He's
gentleman.
fine. Berry Gordy did gank a lot of money from people, though. That's a well-known fact.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, I guess he also put his name on the line. So who knows? I will stay Gordy neutral for the sake of honoring this music.
Yeah, I don't think he killed anybody or did anything like shady like that.
No,
when I'm talking about some of these other people.
Yeah, he's, for the time, what we know about him is not the worst.
Yeah.
There's another thing going on in this song that makes it very attractive to me.
Okay.
There's a really syncopated interplay between the lead vocal and the background vocals.
Yes.
It's really fun. It's so not traditional doo-wop, boo-da, da. It's not your, lame unknown college's a cappella band.
Right.
This one has a lot more bounce and energy, and it's vocally forward in that sense.
Yeah.
And it's one of the times that you really feel like the band as singers are equal in the sense, regardless of who's singing what part. It's just this song without that texture does not exist.
So what's interesting about that is in this time frame, the songwriters, and I'm not saying that songwriters of today don't have these chops. They certainly do. But the songwriters of yesteryear, of what we're talking about here, came from either a classical or jazz background. And they have these very specific, like curated techniques that they know how to employ. So they understand counterpoint. They understand how to do recapitulations of melodies and variations on a theme and stuff that come from more traditional and trained styles of music. When you talk about more recent producers, not saying that they don't have chops or that they're not good players, and not that they don't look back at this, but when you look at recent producers, what they're doing as a frame of reference is they're looking back to this era.
Sure.
So what this era is looking back at is the big band era, or they're looking at,
Or further, yeah.
Or further,
But
right?
Big band for sure
Right.
is being channeled here.
Yep.
We're always kind of looking back, a
Yeah,
couple decades and stealing.
Right. And so when you hear more modern music and when they're being derivative, you look at like a Silk Sonic, for example, which I think is perfect
literally
for this.
ripped off an entire era.
Right.
But that's like Bruno Mars's sweet spot is to replicate an era.
Yep.
Ripped off was not a kind way of saying it. He
No.
does such a fantastic job doing it.
No, it's an homage. It's not a ripoff.
It totally is. And I stand corrected.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not a new concept.
Yeah. But then the downside of those, of a copy of a copy of a copy, right? Because that's what happens is you just learn from what you heard, is that some newer music loses some of the fidelity that came out of like the intense composition of classical music, right? And then the pretty intense composition and arrangement of big band like Duke Ellington and all that kind of stuff, Benny Goodman, all these like amazing composers and
But
arrangers.
don't forget the legendary Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
They knew how to honor that style of music, right? And so then
I just want to get it on the AI.
yeah, it's perfect. So then as you move forward, it's not surprised, and I'm not even, it's going to sound like I'm crapping at modern music. I'm not, but it's not surprising that in modern music you see fewer harmonic tricks like modulations and things like that. You still see an homage to like deep, rich chords and things like that.
Well, a lot of modern music in the indie scene right now is moving towards literally sampling. I mean, the amount of people that I know in my cipher who are very capable musicians who have access to fantastic instruments, assets, songwriter studios, people are still just using Tune Tracks Drummer. Mm-hmm. I mean, the MIDI game is going so hard. And when you can write alone and do it so low budget and do it at 2 a.m. using a MacBook.
And an AI prompt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're effectively, we see where that is.
Yeah.
It's a weird time to be watching music.
Yeah. But when I think of this older music and the loss of fidelity sometimes in some of these rich harmonic textures, it brings to mind a question that I have for you, which is, where did our love go?
Ah, great question. This track right here is literally a perfect piece of music.
It really is. It's my next song.
Yeah,
That's-
it's also mine.
Yeah.
Not in any particular order, but it's 100% on my list. It embodies every blue chip bell cow certified supreme style sound that they have. Mm-hmm. Everything that you would call this sounds just like the Supremes is in this song.
Yeah, and here's the prototype for Motown.
Effectively,
Yeah.
at least this style of Motown,
Yeah.
the small girl group
Yeah,
doing new sweetheart songs.
Yeah.
The production's excellent.
it really is.
It's so good.
yeah.
Baby.
Baby.
They do such a great job of putting the singers, plural, not just the lead, which is one of my big beefs I had with the Ronettes, was watching Ronnie sit so frankly in your face.
Yeah.
And everybody else kind of annoyingly in the back and EQ'd poorly.
Yeah.
In this case, you're really getting a warmer mix that just feels a little more approachable. Feels like you're in a small room club.
Yeah. When we covered the Ronettes, I was expecting more Andrews Sisters level, like, production.
Impossible with all of that verb.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Andrews Sisters. Well, they won't make this list, but
Oh,
God, they're incredible.
Deservedly could though.
Yeah.
Like, and so you end up with this group that's working as a unit. Not only the singers are working as a unit, but this band sounds so good too.
Yeah, and the arrangement is so good. The piano parts and everything that flow together to accent the melodies that are in here. This isn't a particularly. There are some actually complicated chord charts on this.
Oh yeah,
on this album. This is not one of them. This is bubblegum pop Motown, but actually there's a modulation in this.
Yep.
Yep.
It's not complicated either.
Right.
I mean, it's not an easy chart to just sit.
Right.
But no, it's certainly not the most complicated thing that we're going to talk about this evening. Another piece of this is there's just it's like effortless.
Yeah.
This song punches so far above its weight class in technique,
Yep.
but feels like you're eating chicken nuggets. Like it's just so easy.
Yeah. And so Brian Holland was one of the writers here, and this song here, it was it's actually been ranked by Rolling Stone magazine as number 472, the song of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time.
Yeah, I'm in.
And obviously selected in the preservation of the National Recording Registry in 2016. It's just a great song, and I don't know how you can listen to this song and just like not smile.
Precisely.
And the way the Supremes come in and will double the melody and then do the oohs.
Yeah,
It just
whoever's singing backups, in this case it's Florence and Mary.
and crap, I lost the other one's name because there's four of them.
Oh, and Birdsong.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
It's just
Cindy.
It's actually it feels even keel.
Yeah.
I love when a background singer isn't an afterthought.
yeah,
And if you want to talk a better performance in background singers, scoot over to the B side of this song, as I consider it,
yeah.
which is Baby Love.
Baby Love.
Same key,
Yep.
same groove,
Yep, and it's the next song in the album too. It's
which is crazy, or at least on this compilation. But every bit is good a song, but they change.
Yep.
They do this great descending chord with the held tone.
Yep. Tone, yep.
Yeah, over the pedal tone. Thank you very much. Over the chorus, and what you're getting a lot of this album too. We'll talk about it often, or at least mention it. Is so many of these songs start on their chorus,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
In modern music, that's not so much a thing right now.
No, it's like I need 8 seconds to set you up before we get into the chorus.
Before we go to verse 1.
Right.
And then we'll finally get to a chorus. If you look at songs being written as we speak.
Yeah. But it's no Don't Stop Believing where it takes 3 minutes and 58 seconds before you
No,
finally
no.
sing.
The groove's similar, but it doesn't mean it's the same song. In fact, it's a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little more sexy in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
The
like-
chord chart on this one is more intense. Yeah.
It's also one of the more recognizable songs. I think it's actually the more memorable hook for sure.
Over Where Did Our Love Go?
Yeah.
Huh. In my mind, it's more resonant, but
I think the repetition where it's baby love, my baby love.
Yeah.
It's just this melody I can't unhear.
yeah.
And it's not even remotely their catchiest song. We have more stuff we'll talk about later that really
do.
rings.
Yeah.
What else about this song for you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we if we talk about the chords, like we walk into this, like the intro is pretty straightforward. But we start on the minor 2,
Yep.
right, and we go to like flat 7-1, and then we land, and then we start doing this. What's interesting here is it's a line cliche a bit. We start on the 1, and then we go to the 1 dominant 7, which I would expect then to go to the 4, but it goes to the 6.
It keeps the walk.
Yep, and then it hangs out there because it goes to 5-7-2.
I would say, well, eventually it does the major minor thing as well,
yep.
which is accommodating to that versus a 2-5-1.
Yeah, and then when they finally get to the subdominant chord, I think it's in the key of C. They go to a 6 chord, so the 4 with a major 6, which just sort of opens up the space as you're getting into this turnaround. So you have this plagal cadence, this 4/1, but it's not just standard 4/1. It's this 4/6 chord, which I think is really nice. And it's just this nice little bit because that's where the melody is playing here. So you're getting that 6 that's going through there. So to me, it's not a complicated chord chart at all, but it's how to write a pop tune and still have a couple of notes that will give you a little bit more teeth.
Yeah, you feel tensions in different ways
Yeah.
throughout the course of this one.
Yeah, because this is a gentle song.
Oh, it's just so pretty though.
Yeah. But what's really interesting here is eventually, like, we get our modulation. So we go up a half step. I think it's a half step modulation.
I think it's a half.
Yep. And we go through this sort of 6 minor to 6 dominant thing, which is kind of weird. So,
that was my major minor mention.
Yeah.
Or minor major
Yeah.
in that case.
but that's not in the other verses. It doesn't happen. That additional complexity doesn't come in until after the key change happens.
Yep.
Which is a nice arranging trick. It's to keep more interest.
Hooray, conductor.
Hooray, conductor. Baby love. My
Great
baby
song.
love. Yeah.
Great song. I mean, if you don't recognize this song on the title,
Yeah.
it's literally the lyrics of the chorus. You really need to take a break and just listen to it real quick. You'll be like, that's the song.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that was my call. Which one is next on your list?
The very next song, Come See About Me.
That's mine too. Look, it's right here. Because this little trio of songs,
Well, actually, the next song after this is
I,
my next one.
honestly,
Yeah.
that's how we roll.
Yeah. So go ahead. This little trio of songs.
I mean, so my opening statement on my notes is, you really forget how many great songs the Supremes had.
Yeah.
We've had this problem a lot recently. We said the same thing about Al Green, you know, and it was just, it's a delight. It's a great problem to have.
But the song starts with a fade in.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Kind of odd.
Yeah.
Odd choice.
Yeah.
Come See About Me is so nice. And what we've done is we've left the groove from the other two,
Yeah.
and gone to a new style in R&B.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I like about this is you get this really striking instrumentation off the brink. There's this like really chimey, I'm going to say it's a Wurlitzer, but it could be Rhodes. But
Some
it's
suitcase.
some
Yeah.
chunker
Yeah.
tine playing EP piano, right? And it's got this driving drum beat
Yeah.
versus this laid back swung out drum beat, which is kind of the world we've been living in here.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is that you get a whole new pace. It's like if you were looking at ear fatigue of the same Sweetheart song, we've escaped.
Right. Even though the subject matter doesn't really change.
No, and you're not going to ever have a really deep moment in enjoying the words. I mean, everything's very digestible, hooray, but they're not going to challenge you. The content's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
Lot of love songs.
Yeah. Yeah. And excuse me, what I think that I like about this too is the way the girls kind of weave their vocals like in and out of this beat. It's just, I don't know. It again, it's where the singers and the music really interplay very nicely.
Yeah, there's some dynamic swells and some
Yeah.
parts going on.
Yeah.
And especially my favorite part of this song is this pre-chorus, which gets nice and minor and then resolves up.
Yep. Yeah.
And that to me is very saturated with the vocals plus the instruments they've put in the song.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting here is a lot of these tracks have, I'll say there's a lot of reverb in a lot of these tracks, which aligns with Motown, right? This definitely came out of a Wall of Sound inspiration, but in my opinion, done well better.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, Wall of Sound, remember one of the keys of Wall of Sound was like doubling and tripling and even quadrupling each sound source.
Right. Let's get 11 pianists and
They're
see.
simply not doing that here.
No, but there's definitely a sense that this was done in a very live space.
Yeah, indeed. And I feel like that's what old studios were, is you're like, let's go to a big, beautiful room where we can get some natural reverb.
Right.
Because they just didn't have the access to a lot of the digital reverbs we have. I don't know what the art of analog reverb looked like at the time. But what I will say is they're not relying on reverb.
No.
This is not a My Morning Jacket situation.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Just like when you get into the sound wars and super compressed production of modern day.
Especially if you look at like modern metal.
Yep, modern metal.
It's triggered and compressed to death.
Yeah, it becomes actually unlistenable because you get this ear fatigue that comes with it because there's no dynamic range. Everything. So when we talk about compression, I don't know if have we talked about compression, what it is and what it does?
We in past episodes once or twice, but let's give them the Cliff Note version.
So it's exactly what it sounds like. We're taking the loudest stuff and we're bringing it down, and the bottom stuff and we're squishing it up so that we're trying to normalize the volume of a sound.
Less dynamic spikes and losses makes for a smoother listening experience, the same way that less potholes in the road makes for a smoother driving experience.
Yeah. And in real life, Carl is a louder talker than I am. And so we use compression so that my volume is equal to, or sometimes greater than, depending on what we do with the compression, to what Carl's doing. And when I do my vocal fade offs, because I mumble at the other end of my sentences, we hopefully bring those things up.
And the compression will at the same time tamp down my outbursts.
Yeah.
You'll still get the dynamic. It doesn't take anything away from the EQ. You can still hear the higher inflection in my voice when I get excited.
Yeah.
It just simply takes the edge off.
Yep. And so a lot of modern music is hyper compressed, which when you don't have a break, if everyone is talking at this volume and they don't stop talking at this volume and it's always this volume and that sort of stuff, it becomes very tiring on the ear. And that's
wall.
Yeah.
One might call it a wall of sound.
Yeah. So the compression wars of the past, 20 years now, essentially are the modern version of the probably overuse of reverb from this era.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Look, you get new toys, you play with them.
Yep.
I'm going to move it on.
All right. Why don't you what are you going to move on to?
I think I'm going to go for When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes. Talk about a lengthy ass title.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're hopping back.
Yeah. Are you hip to this tune?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to this album.
I had, yeah, I mean, but that says nothing when you're sitting in the pool of 50 songs.
Yeah.
I have to mention this song because of one thing.
What's that?
The Bo Diddley rhythm.
Yes.
Dung, 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 dung.
Yep.
And a strong hand clap. I want to sample that hand clap.
Yeah.
It's so fun to, having done the Bo Diddley episode just a few weeks ago, to hear the Bo Diddley rhythm, as it's called, right out front. It also, as you mentioned, an older track sounds like an older track.
Yep.
Because that rhythm is a little played per se.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting that you brought that up. I actually, so in my list of which ones I wanted to pick, I had this as a maybe, because I wasn't sure how many overlaps we would have as we're going through this.
Lots, thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But this one, I don't know, it has a new spirit to it. I think it just adds a little spice to the ones we're talking about. Because in my mind, the songs we present to you tonight are ones you should prioritize, listener. We'll probably end up with giving you a really cool 10-song album out of our thoughts.
Yeah.
And this one will, is it a stellar song? Yeah. But it's a whole new flavor for them, which I really like. It's a whole new flavor. And I think that's the thing you want to be able to look at.
Yeah.
I will say it's you can tell that this is not the norm for them, because by the third verse, that Bo Diddley line dung, 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 is really swung.
Yep.
It starts to straighten out a bit.
Yeah.
Against their own hard tambourine player.
Yeah, because they want that English 4, and man, I do like some tambourine, but it's not ever the featured instrument, or should it be? But in this era, for some reason, I don't know. I mean, it cuts through like anything. We were talking off camera about Stevie Nicks dancing around the stage with her tambourine, not mic'd on the tambourine, but she's still cutting through, sometimes crushing out some of the actual music that's being played.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a Jerome maraca.
It kind of is like a Jerome.
Jerome, stop playing the maraca. Look backwards for that one, y'all. This is a cool one. There's this sample in here I've heard, I swear to God, in hip hop a million times. There's this male scream that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like a, yeah, the type thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's that sound. Where have I heard that?
Yeah.
We got to look that one up later, too.
All right, I'll pull that one up. Yeah.
But production-wise, this one's a little dusty. It sounds a little antiquated.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Except for the volume of the tambourine could always use a few dB down.
Always. If you think people can't hear that tambourine, they can.
If you hear a tambourine, it's too loud.
Yeah.
They're meant to be felt, not heard.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think it's just a fun song. It has a lot of space energy, and it doesn't sound like anything we've talked about thus far.
Yeah. I agree. That's a good call.
What's next on your little list? And then we'll take a little break.
Yeah, I'm going to pop back into the song order. We've talked about Where Did I Love Go? We talked about Baby Love. We talked about Come See About Me. The very next song is Stop in the Name of Love.
Oh my God. Icon. It's an iconic song.
Right. Full stop.
Yeah. In the name of love.
Yeah.
This is a chorus that you hear it once and you can immediately sing it with them for the rest of the night and the rest of your life.
Right. I've never been away on a girls' weekend, but I figure if Gloria Gaynor can get everyone singing "I Will Survive," this has got to fit into that whole.
It's right. It's in
Yeah.
the same playlist. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
It's cool, and it further reinforces this kind of style they're doing, where they start songs on the chorus.
Yeah.
Which is not the norm today.
Yeah. And I just grew up hearing this song over and over and over again. So this song has a special place in my heart just because of its familiarity. But if you don't think you know this song, like, you totally know this song.
Yeah, you're
right?
crazy.
Right.
Now, new discoveries on this song.
Yeah.
Because I had never actively listened to it. I've never sat down and been like, hey, Alexa, put on Stop in the Name of Love. It's never happened, right?
Right.
So with keen ears and an open mind, I heard there's a vibraphone
Yes, there is.
that's really doing a lot of work.
Yep.
And tonally, for those who don't know what a vibraphone is, it's just it's in the xylophone family. Let's just put it that way. It has a lot of kind of cool controls, sometimes even little motors that can make a warbly effect that you can control as a player.
Yep.
But effectively, it's a percussive instrument that has melodic characteristics. You're hitting bells,
Yep.
for lack of better words.
Yeah. So a vibraphone, a xylophone is made out of wood, and it's a pitched instrument that it looks like piano keys the way it's laid out. A vibraphone is metal and typically has a fan, tubular, and it has a fan that gives you the vibrations.
Yeah, it's moving air around like
Yep.
a tiny Leslie cab.
Yeah, and this is Jack Ashford playing vibraphone on this.
Way to go, Jack Ash.
Yeah.
But like really notable, and I never latched onto that before. There's also another piece I really like that drives this song along. It's in English 4. So English 4 beats have the attack of the snare drum on 1 and 3 versus 2 and 4.
Right.
So instead of you end up or I did 1 and quarter, 1 and eighth notes.
Yeah.
But instead of on the backbeat, you're really hitting on the 1. You're pounding away at it. Top in the name of love. And so it pushes this song.
Yeah.
And to accommodate that, the bass player is doing these octave jumps.
Yep.
Low note, high note, low note, high note. And because of that, he's really adding to the percussive element of this song.
Yeah.
So the song has a hell of a pulse to it.
Yeah. It's so funny. I didn't realize the song came out in 1965. I thought this was technically a newer song than 1965.
Really?
Yeah. I thought this was early 70s. just like living my life. I
It
didn't know it
would
was
make
that old.
sense on the way that it's presented. It doesn't sound like anything they have at that level in the
Yeah.
category or
Yeah.
in at that level in the anthology.
Yep.
But man, what an effective song.
It really is.
And like a really pretty song, great verses too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the hook is so good, it overshadows everything.
Yeah. And this one comes in at number 254 on Rolling Stone's top 500 greatest songs of all time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not surprised and I'm not mad about it.
No.
Good
So what do you
for
think?
them.
Should we stop?
Yeah, we should stop in the name of breaks. We'll see you after this one.
This week in music. This is your Backwards Beats Week in Music for the week of February 28th, 2026. Drummer Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers teamed up with Drumeo to surprise a group of music students where he arrived as a stand-in tutor. The YouTube video shows Smith in a car on his way to the music school, then cuts to someone telling the students that their regular drum teacher isn't available. He then arrives in class and meets a 10-year-old who says that he likes punk rock and lists his favorite bands as Blink-182, Green Day, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, all the while not realizing who he's talking to. Smith then tells the student that he drums with the Peppers, leaving the child in shock. Later in the clip, Smith encourages a young student who's nervous, joking with her by saying, "Ignore the camera, and ignore me, the Hall of Fame drummer sitting next to you." Smith is later then seen jamming with students and giving them tips. In a move that has fans scratching their heads, Taylor Swift has announced that she will not perform any songs originally written on a Wednesday. According to Swift, the fourth day of the week just doesn't divide evenly into 13, a number she's considered both lucky and central to her creative process. Fellow pop star Ed Sheeran reportedly praised Swift's decision, noting that he can relate, as one time he tried writing a song on Tuesday and could feel the weekend creeping in. Lorde also chimed in, saying that she once performed a Wednesday written song and could feel the moonlight arguing with the melody. Concertgoers are advised not to tell Taylor that 13 is prime and thereby only divisible by 1 and itself. The industry is in mourning at the loss of a true pop architect. Legendary singer, songwriter, and pianist Neil Sedaka has passed away at the age of 86. Born in Brooklyn and classically trained at Juilliard, Sedaka became the cornerstone of the historic Brill Building era of the late 1950s. Alongside his longtime writing partner Howard Greenfield, he authored more than 500 songs, including hits for icons like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and Connie Francis. As a solo artist, Sedaka defined two distinct eras of American pop. He dominated the pre-Beatles airwaves with classics like Calendar Girl and Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. After a career lull during the British invasion, Sedaka staged one of the most successful comebacks in music history in the mid-1970s. Backed by Elton John's Rocket Records, he returned to the top of the charts with Laughter in the Rain and Bad Blood. He also penned the Grammy-winning Love Will Keep Us Together for Captain and Tennille. Sedaka remained a fixture in the industry well into his 80s, frequently performing and connecting with fans through social media until his final days. A titan of craft, Neil Sedaka's influence on the American songbook is immeasurable. That has been your Backwards Beats Week in Music for the week of February 28th, 2026. And don't forget to salt your melons.
It was dark. And all the people had to say to me was, "Where are your shoes, mate?" I looked down, and there were no laces left. I had consumed them. Like spaghetti through one nostril and back down through the other. Like a knitted neti pot. I pulled it out through my nose, only to wonder where the rubber sole rested. And then I puked violently.
That sounds very rushed. But you know one thing that you can't rush? Or one thing that can't hurry?
Love?
Love.
Aw. Yeah, what a great song. You can't hurry, love.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got to wait.
And I apologize. I was trying to do the TikTok through my beer can.
I thought it sounded pretty good.
It did, but then the beer can lost its strength as I was doing it. So then I had to find another spot. So that's why the consistency dropped. I apologize in my beer can TikTok performance.
I don't remember anything I said, so that's a good start.
There's something about snarfing a spaghetti noodle or something.
I believe I was flossing my nasal cavity with a shoelace.
Yeah, it's kind of like mental floss.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so You Can't Hurry Love. What a great song. It's the thanks to the Zootons, Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson were then able to steal this groove and create what is now known as Valerie.
They were, yes.
Dung, 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 dung. That pulse is here first and foremost.
It is. But before that, Phil Collins on his second album, Hello, I Must Be Going, did a great cover of this song. Really well done version of this great band, backing him up and everything like that. So, but
did he do the In the Air Tonight drum fill in it?
Every Phil Collins song has that drum fill in it.
Just making sure.
Yes. Take Me Home.
I don't want to miss it. Well, Take Me Home for sure.
Another
that
Day in
song
Paradise.
Is like nothing but tom-toms.
Right.
This tune.
Against All Odds.
Oh, wow.
I
I think it's there on everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Phil Collins going for it.
Yeah.
Way to go, Philip.
Yeah.
The tune is so smart. You end up with that kind of major lift going on, and then they drop into that B section, which is beautifully minor.
Yeah.
And you hear, for the first time on this album, I'll acknowledge today, the words match the song in a way where you go, ooh, I feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because what's weird when we go to the minor, I think it's the 3 minor we go to.
Which is not ironically, if you're teaching theory, you always talk about how things become minor scale-wise, and you're like, oh, the minor 3. It's like the first one that you meet before you meet the minor 7. Everything else comes with it.
Right.
In songwriting form, the minor 3, especially in modern music, feels like everybody's ignoring it. Everybody goes to the minor 6 now.
Correct. Yeah, that's the normal, which is the relative minor of the key. But here we go to the minor 3, hard into the minor 3, until we finally do essentially a 2/5 turnaround to get you back to the main key. But what's interesting about that 2/5 turnaround is it's delayed, right? Because you go to, so you're in B minor. I think it's B minor. I think it's B minor, E minor. So that's where we are. So the song's in the key of G. We go B minor, E minor, and then we go to A minor to D.
Yep. Which is the dominant in that
Dominant.
case.
But then we do G over D to hang on. And then finally proper dominant 7. And then we finally get back to Can't Hurry Love. So we're only sitting in that minor 3 for a little bit. But
they move through it so fast and so beautifully.
Yeah. How many heartaches must I stand before I find the love to let me live again?
Yeah, I would say that the lyrical content really speaks in this song.
Right now, the only thing that keeps me hanging on is when I feel my strength. Oh, it's almost gone, but I remember Mama said,
you can't hurry love. You just gotta wait.
Just gotta wait.
Loving it easy.
Yep.
I will say I have a gripe with the version of this song I had, and something tells me it doesn't necessarily get better. The production on this song is kind of garbage.
Okay.
It sounds like you're listening through the whole song, like the master bus, through like a small seashell. There's this mid to high frequency that resonates throughout the whole song and inhibits it from ever feeling rich.
Yeah. Have you ever plugged either your headphones into a mic jack or your microphone into a headphone jack?
Yes, and I know where you're going with this.
It's not quite as bad as that, but it's...
Well, you destroy your tweeter on your speakers, and then all you hear is a lower frequency.
Yeah.
This is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I will say the song format is really cool too. Did you like dive into that at all?
Not really. Tell me more.
So this song effectively starts on a true intro slash interlude. Dung, dung, dung. I feel love. She hits right into the first verse. They roll the chorus. And then there's this post-chorus, right?
Yeah.
Which you could almost call a bridge,
Yeah.
but it's not. That rolls back in to a verse and a chorus, and then you post it, and then you hit a verse again after it.
Yeah.
So it's like you've taken this, you've taken the verse, pre-chorus, chorus structure and inverted it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah.
And something that hasn't been commonly done here is they air it out before they hit that third verse.
Yeah.
You go back to the doom, doom, doom intro.
Yeah.
And so there's just some clever songwriting that makes this song a little more catchy in my mind.
Yeah.
Like something I want to cover.
Yeah.
Over it just kind of being like phoned in and kitschy.
And from an arrangement perspective, they start layering in instruments, right? You get that guitar like on the 2 and 4, jack, jack, jack. That
Yeah, I
comes
have a
in.
note
Yeah.
about that, which
Yeah.
is that style.
Yeah.
I compared it a little bit to that like Mayer Hawthorne, The Walk, where simply horns, guitars, and even in this case, background vocalists,
Right.
doing like a bop or a do,
Yep.
hitting on the offbeat. They just become like a percussive stab.
Yeah. And then as you go along, then you just get more and more instruments building in. And I don't think I talk about this in this episode, but you know the song Madness by Muse.
Mad, mad, mad.
So a lot of people probably know that song, but have you actually paid attention to every time they go into the chorus? The first time he sings the chorus, he sings it, it's some kind of madness. And then as the song progresses, there's more vocal harmonies that start adding in different parts as the madness increases.
Oh, it's great. I mean, you get the first taste of it in the second verse where
Yeah.
he does the triangle stack or the
Yeah.
pyramid stack.
Yeah.
Ooh. But then it gets intense. They start to throw all the voices in.
Yeah,
The song is so well produced.
it is. And so this isn't doing it to that level, but it's definitely a trick of keeping interest in something that in certain cases is repetitive. This song isn't that repetitive in my mind, but it's still, because you have extended song form that's occurring, but they're also are layering in these instruments as you go through. So definitely check that out when you listen to the song.
No, I mean, this is a stud song. If you need to put up 3 for nomination, for me, Come See About Me is up there. And
Yeah.
will remain there.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
Reflections of.
Reflections.
It's so funny is I've known this song my whole life. I didn't know that was the name of this song.
I didn't know this song at all.
Really?
It made my list, though.
Oh yeah. So when I was little and I was being introduced to music, and I've told this, I think I might have told the story of me first hearing my first Kiss record. The boy who introduced me to Kiss, his sister had this album actually, and I remember her playing this song for me as I was done listening to like Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, and I think there's an evolution here.
Yeah.
They bring in some new sound sources in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So there's a kind of synth thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that instrument is, but again, we're still heavily Motown, but I feel now we've evolved sonically because of that instrumentation.
Sure. It's a tighter mix. It's not as wide as the other ones, but I love the way that they're kind of staffing it.
Yeah.
In the sense that you got I think it's like a Wurlitzer with a volume swell going on or some sort of electric piano.
Yep. Yeah.
That's just supporting them enough.
Yeah.
But the singers are still out front.
Yeah. And so the instrumentation on this, there's a Hammond organ, there's a Wurlitzer, and a test oscillator. I don't know what a test oscillator is.
If I buy one, does it stay at my house and I get to name it?
Yeah. So if I look it up, it's just some signal generator that's performing oscillations. So some nerdy stuff that they put in here. So that's adding to the soundscape of this.
Okay.
And that's all performed by Earl Van Dyke.
Fun.
Yeah. Not Dick Van Dyke's relative at all. But yeah, it's an awesome song. And this one here was released in 1967, and this oftentimes gets sort of grouped a little bit into the Vietnam soundscape
Yep.
as well.
It's been there.
Yeah, you'll hear that as well.
But not as much as Fortunate Son.
not as much as Fortunate Son, but this also basically. It's funny because they say this is. I saw this quote about this as the Supremes release their first delve into psychedelic pop. I'm not sure we're quite there yet,
Yeah.
but I can see where they're going.
So there's a synth thing.
Yep.
There's a cool keyboard.
Yep.
There's an approach here that has like the beginnings of like a 0-7 thing going on.
Yep.
But to call it psychedelic would be a massive disservice to the folks of Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, and I haven't heard this as well, but in my notes, I pulled this up. It's that this is cited as one of the first mainstream pop songs to feature a moog, but I don't remember hearing the moog in this.
Okay. I mean, it probably wasn't doing like new Moog things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just a small, well-crafted, tiny keyboard.
Yeah.
And then you have to like, wrap your computer into it or whatever you might do.
Yeah. Banger of a song.
Yeah, agreed entirely.
What's yours, baby?
I've been wanting to lobby all evening for the tune called Love is Like an Itching in My Heart.
That's a complicated song title.
It is, but the song, not complicated at all. It has this cool cranking bass line that comes in from moment one, a simplified drum beat. It's still a very good sounding drummer, but just playing down the middle, no weird fills or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that this song is super cool because it strips away some of that powder puff love song, and what you really end up getting is a lead singing performance that feels more authentic with a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I agree. I'm trying to look something up here because we had a conversation earlier, and I want to make sure that we don't miss that. So that's why I've sort of fallen off mic here.
It's okay.
Yep. But what else you got for this one?
The build. It's kind of repetitive. So when they do sneak in new chord changes, they kind of come out of nowhere in the best way possible. There's these raises and lifts, and then with that there becomes this permissiveness. Is that even a word?
Yeah.
To just sing with a little more tude. And I really enjoy it. It's like no other piece of art on this entire collection.
Yeah. I agree.
Top 3 favorites on the album for me.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
High praise on the 50.
Yeah. So I'm going to bounce around here because I want to make sure we cover this. I think this is actually on your list. It was not on mine. But we might as well talk about Someday We'll Be Together.
I do not have notes on it, but I know the song. So please guide me.
So Someday We'll Be Together.
I do have notes.
You do have notes.
Of course
on this.
I do.
Yep. Because this song was sampled in the early 1990s by a young Janet Jackson
Yes.
on the song If.
That's right.
Yep.
Dung, digga, 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 dung, digga, dung.
Yeah.
Great orchestral part throughout the course of the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, you hear that lick and you go, okay, there it is.
Yeah. And last week I came over, we started going hard on listening to Janet Jackson. And
After Hours.
yes, on the album Janet, which came out in 1993, which has If and That's the Way Love Goes. Those are the big hits off of that.
Smoker, yeah.
Such a good album. But then when this song came on, I was all of a sudden, what is that? And we came to that realization just like before recording this. So I want to make sure we cover that one.
The irony is that though they're capturing some really great media, they're actually not capturing great media. The song production is not my favorite.
Right.
The instrumentation and the arrangement and the performances I like very much.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where I'll hold out for a remaster, you know?
Yeah.
I will say something about this song and why it made my list was we are coming off the Greatest Hits of Al Green album just a few weeks ago. And this has a more a drum part that's more conducive
Yep.
to the Al Green.
Yep.
The way it's panned just feels more Al Green soul
Yep.
than anything we've heard in their camp.
Yeah, and we're way beyond the early doo-wop stuff that we heard at the beginning of this collection.
But we're getting production that I think is akin to an album that you and I very much enjoyed. So
Yeah.
it just makes this song more enjoyable. And with an incredibly powerful singing, group behind her, it's kind of a perfect tune.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my I was pulling it because I wanted to make sure that we got to this because we're running through these things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get people dizzy because we're throwing through content, but at the end of the day, if you're going to split hairs on this album, half of this collection of 50 songs share a beat, a dynamic, and a tempo.
Yep.
And frankly, probably a lot of the same vocal content if you were to look at it as a whole.
Right.
What they never share is performance and creativity.
Yeah.
Every song truly is a gem, but it's easy to get fatigue in here.
Yep.
So we're kind of trying to cherry pick the ones that won't give you that.
Yeah.
There's a contributing male backup singer in the song.
Yeah.
Is that one of the Temptations or the Primes?
It just may be. It just may be. Yeah. Absolutely.
Um,
So yeah, a few of the songs on this album here actually do feature the Temptations, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I like this tune quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we'd be silly not to talk about it.
Yeah.
You got another one in the chamber? Or
Why don't you grab the next one, baby?
I think, so I probably only got one left in me. So
Okay.
if you want to call it, do it.
I
Otherwise,
have my last one that I'm going to keep as my last one.
I was going to call I Hear a Symphony. Is that your last one?
It's not. My last one is the last one.
Oh, very good. So I'll go for I Hear a Symphony.
Okay.
And I chose this song not because I believe it's one of the best songs on this compilation, but to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how much legwork these gals can get done doing what feels like the same song 3 different ways.
Okay. Give me more.
Where Did Our
I'm with
Love
you.
Go?
Yep.
Baby Love and I Hear a Symphony all in the first 30 seconds make you go, these are the same songs.
Right.
It's so standard issue
Yep.
until it's not.
But it's not like the first 10 songs on Barrio Fino. It's not that standard.
I'm sorry, Daddy Yankee, but Dan has a point. And there's other artists, by the way, we could probably...
Right. But shout out to Daddy Yankee at the Super Bowl.
He got his 4 seconds of gasoline.
He did.
The great show.
Yeah.
But if you listen to these 3 songs back to back to back, you're like, how did you get away with this? It's all the same exact-ish song.
Right.
The first 2 are the same key. I mean, they may as almost well be.
Yeah.
And then what happens is one of the best choruses of the
Yeah.
entire collection comes out of it.
Yep.
Just the way that they phrase the word symphony. And then they go do another cool musical twist in the arrangement.
I think you like this because it has Barry saxophone.
Well, yeah, of course. But so did the other ones in the same triad of songs, if thou will.
Yeah.
You end up with this kind of boom chick drum line.
Yeah.
You end up with the same chord movement. But the singing's so beautiful and competent. I don't care which one of the 3 you give me. I like all 3 of these songs.
Yeah.
I'm allowed. I don't have to choose a favorite. I can just like them all, right?
That is true. It's a free country.
For now. I will say this song does a couple of cool things outside of that, right? And so they have a neat B section to the song.
Okay. Yeah.
That is like nothing else we've heard. And then at the end of the song, we have a triple modulation.
Yes, we do.
That you got to think Beyonce ganked. I'm pretty sure Beyonce went for like 5 on Love on Top.
Yeah.
But this is a relentless and effortless sounding modulation.
Yep.
Where they just climb up the tree and just, is it a whole step?
Yeah.
I think these are whole step modulations.
Yeah.
Or at least they're diatonically correct. So maybe like a whole half or whole half whole.
Yeah, actually, I'm ashamed that I didn't dig into this one because if you haven't listened to the most recent episode of Dead Wax, they go into the hyper complexity of You're the Inspiration by Chicago and how many key changes that song goes through.
Song.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about Chicago and when they're going to fall on this list earlier, or if they do.
Yeah.
They better.
Yeah, it probably won't be their 80s stuff. But what's amazing is that song, it's a Peter Cetera, David Foster banger. And they do an amazing job of breaking down like how many key changes are in that song. It's super complex for such a singable song.
If we could just tweak that horrid keyboard tone at the beginning, make it less cheesy, that would be such a better song.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Chicago fan, like a big Chicago fan.
Well, Chicago with Chicago horns and stuff is a whole other story.
The Chicago Transit Authority, as they were known initially.
Yeah.
I think that this song is so cool. I Hear a Symphony is yet again a way of just stamping your mark on music and time.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so supreme. It's undeniable.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Take it home, baby.
I'm going to finish because on Backwards Beats podcast, we are the biggest fans of musical theater. And so,
Right, Julia?
And so as superfan, Julia has called us out, and she's also been a guest on this podcast with our episode on Jason Isbell. The final song in this compilation is The Impossible Dream from the musical The Man from La Mancha. And actually, it would have been great to have Julia come on the episode, as she knows way more about musical theater than either one of us. But I do know the song well from the musical. And it's just interesting, this interpretation, because the way I've heard it performed from that musical is much more like, I'll say almost operatic. And this is not an operatic interpretation, but it's showing Diana Ross like stepping out of the Motown
comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a live recording, and you can hear there's a standing ovation afterwards because I can't remember what year this recording was done. The musical is from 1965. And I've seen the musical. It's actually it's a great musical and some great music, including this song. And I give credit to the Anthology producer for ending on such a super dramatic song.
Yeah.
To dream the impossible dream. Like,
There was no other place to put this, by the way, on
Yeah.
the album. It does not make sense to put it anywhere but At Last.
no, it's kind of insane, actually. If you really think about it, it's over the top. And this is not on the original 1974 version. The 1974 version ends with Someday We'll Be Together. I don't think this song makes it until the 2001 edition of this album. So,
Well, I will say, if you just look down the back half of this on the 2001, it is a lot of kind of like covers and risk takers at the end. I mean, Whistle While You Work.
Hard Day's Night.
Yep. Bewitched, Be Bothered. Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
Yeah.
So
That's a great song, though.
that song's fantastic, and the rendition on this album is notable, worth
Yeah.
listening to. As I've mentioned before, my kid is like freakishly in love with Frankie Valli for some reason, so
Yep.
I'm incredibly familiar with Valleys, but this is good.
You know who does a great cover of Can't Take My Eyes Off You is Walk Off the Earth with Julia Nunes.
Oh, Julia Noon's so good, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, she was featured quite a bit with them back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Wow, that's been a minute.
There we go.
No, this is a fun poll because talk about the furthest from the sun. Like,
Yeah.
but once again, it shows the breadth that this group, no matter who the members are,
Yep.
have. They can really cover ground.
Yeah.
It makes it accessible for listeners, multi-generational.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the amount of classics that we didn't even talk about that were still on this album, it's impressive.
Yeah. And we had to skirt through this because we're already pretty long in this episode. And if we went through 50 songs, you'd want to,
Yeah.
you would have stopped listening. So
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone like digging in and listening and doing this. I will go ahead and ask you the question. Carl, would you hit it?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, my only piece of feedback on all of this is we could have hit this with significantly less songs.
Yeah, from a Rolling Stone magazine, like
Yeah, we didn't need 50 to prove this, guys. You could have proven this in 6, frankly.
right. So what this shows me, as does the Bo Diddley episode, as does the Howlin' Wolf episode, as does the Muddy Waters episode, is that Rolling Stone couldn't make decisions on some of these key artists. So I'll say they phoned it in by putting these massive anthologies on here. However, this is pretty much a skip-proof album. You're not going to be bored listening to this. You're not going to be unhappy listening to this album. There are songs that obviously stick out stronger than others. There is some sameness. It's interesting if you look at the arc of the album, there's some sameness. Then it's like, ooh, what do we got here? And then we get back into the doldrums, and then we come back out, and which makes sense. Like you can't have 50 complete bangers.
No, but you have to stick your neck out, explore styles.
Yeah.
And I will say with the massive field we were given, it was nice to see them in like 5 or 6 different styles.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to hear the Supremes in the, in one light, in one song format, which would be the one that sounds exactly like Baby Love.
I knew you were going to go to Baby Love. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, where did our love go and Baby Love are literally mimics of each other.
Where did our love go?
You can easy mashup. Easy mashup.
Yep.
And so to take it out of that context, does it deserve to be here 100%?
Yeah.
Influential, yes. Have we heard anything like them? Not much. No. I do think the greatest plug we got out of them is, the whole revisiting of doo-wop.
Yeah. And we didn't even dig into the Temptations like mashups on here, which are fantastic.
But I mean, go do your own listening, y'all, because like you don't need a golden set of ears to be like, wow.
Yeah. And I didn't pick those because this isn't an episode about the Temptations.
No, exactly. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about them.
Yeah.
And when you look at the span between the Supremes and probably where the Temptations live, it's not going to be equitable.
Right.
I would go as far as saying Supremes should probably be further up the list.
Yeah.
But glad they're here. Had a good time listening to it. As tiring as it was to try and discern every song from every song.
Yeah.
But that's not their fault.
That's not their fault. Another question for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
What is in your ears?
Nice. Sip a beer.
Okay. Contemplate your navel.
I don't need to contemplate because it's really clear.
All right.
I went on this swirling New Jack Swing binge this past week. Are you hip to New Jack Swing?
I am.
I imagine you are because it was popping off when you were 22.
Yes. Yep.
And you danced to this. And Dan doesn't strike me as the traditional dancer. He chooses when he does, But what I do know about Dan is that Dan's not afraid to go into a metal pit. Dan's also not afraid to talk about when he used to breakdance.
And I did I guess when I was 22, 21, I did have a girlfriend, and we used to go to Polyestas
Oh my God.
and disco like you wouldn't believe.
In Rockville?
Yeah, actually, this is in Boston. But
Okay.
yeah.
We had a polyesters back on the Pike back in the day.
Yeah, that's why I said Polyestas.
Estas.
Because it was Boston and it was Pissa.
Boston.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't hip to the genre, New Jack Swing's not an artist. It's a creation. It's a sound of hip hop
Yeah.
that is pure, man. It's kind of hybrid. You know, you had your traditional sampled hip hop, block party, MC. Everything is this, and then we go, blank, the thing that BC Boys would go and roll, but it was Run
Like
DMC
this and like
first.
this and like that,
Precisely. Yeah. New Jack Swing literally does what it says it does. It played on the swing thing, but not like Dilla did.
Right.
That's the kicker here, and it's an important line you have to draw. Dilla, the way Dilla swung music, Jay Dilla, the producer, who has long left us but will forever be a legend, is one avenue of hip hop. If you want to listen to what New Jack did and kind of influenced, you can look at all sorts of artists. Belviv DeVoe, Tony Tone, Janet Jackson, who we were talking about earlier, got into it. Soul for Real.
Yep.
Keith Sweat got into it. Arrested Development
Yep. Yeah.
were part of this movement. And some of the hallmarks here are kick and snare drums getting wildly close to each other over really high fidelity and highly tuned hi-hats.
Yeah.
Very aggressive beats and often very melodic.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is kind of a segue of hip-hop rapping alongside R&B singing.
Yeah.
And you could go either way and it still counts as New Jack.
Yep. Yeah.
Say more.
No. I mean, this music was definitely in my ears at that time.
Yeah.
It was in all the bars and clubs.
Bobby Brown.
Yep.
Real Seduction. Like it's...
Yeah. Have you been watching the Olympics at all?
Yes.
So it was figure skating. It might have been ice dancing. I can't remember what it was.
Ice dancing.
So they had like a 90s theme. Did you see that?
No.
And yeah, so one of the couples was performing to Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe.
Perfect.
It was slightly sped up, but it was perfect.
One of my favorite pieces, though it's later in the era, but obviously influenced by it, is I think a really cool New Jack sounding beat is Mary J. Blige's Real Love.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And it was short-lived, but it was definitive of what would carry hip-hop further. Though more R&B singers sang over it that I'm giving credit to, I think it falls into the hip-hop realm.
Yeah. It's like this yes, for sure. It's like this bed that went multiple directions. Because if you go to Mary J. Blige to Belle Biv DeVoe, like how would you see the connection?
Sure, I
between
mean,
the two of them?
Boys to Men, by the way, also were taking part in this. And so there's, I just dialed in, and you could really hear it because Dan and I last week after we recorded turned on Janet Jackson's work, and we're just listening through her catalog, and sure enough, she was participating, and I think the algorithm picked that up and just rolled.
Yeah.
While I was making dinner one night. And then I literally asked, I said, put on just New Jack now. And I started listening through. The funny part is I actually don't like probably 30% of the stuff I hear.
Right.
But the stuff I do like, it's in my ears.
Yep.
What's in your ears?
So very different. I've been going deep into the 2016 album Black Star by Mr. David Bowie.
Ah,
It's a short album.
that was his final album.
His final album, released like right before his death, on his 69th birthday.
Noise.
Nice. And so 7 tracks, so good. Like everything stitches together. It's such a beautiful piece of art, in my opinion, this album. I don't think it's the most accessible David Bowie album, but so creative, and late in his life. And it sounds nothing like Ziggy Stardust. It sounds nothing like Low. Sounds nothing like Let's Dance. It sounds nothing like it's an evolution of an artist who's spent decades just transforming and doing new stuff. It's such a beautiful piece of work. And the fact that he basically mic dropped, here's my last album, right before he passed away. Pretty amazing. I don't think he meant to die right afterwards, but to me, it's a beautiful thing. So I probably listened to something like 6 or 7 times in the past week. So
fun fact, it's the only David Bowie album I've ever listened to.
Which is weird because he's got a lot of really good material.
He's got a huge catalog. I am notoriously known, and that's why I'm so excited about this project, is I don't...
Young Americans. Oh, my God.
I don't listen to him. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to eat sardines out of the can. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't introduced to it. I never got it. But I remember when he passed, and people were talking about this album, so I sat down and listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on airplanes a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And so it was a great opportunity. And it was so... I knew what I was getting was not a representation of what he had been.
Right, because Black Star or 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore sounds nothing like Changes.
No, but
right.
he just... and the thing is, like, I know I could name 10 Bowie songs, you know, but like...
Heroes,
Precisely. Fame, whatever. Yeah. But like...
Come on, Fame.
I love that song. I love that fucking song. You Leave That Alone.
I love that song. Yeah.
The song slays.
It's on Young Americans.
It sounds like the album I'm going to love.
Yeah.
But I did. I gave that album a listen.
He does Across the Universe by the Beatles on that album too.
Several times.
It's so good.
And it was a really nice piece of art.
Yeah.
I look forward to having to step in and learn about actual David Bowie.
Yeah, I won't have to do a convince me because I'm sure he's on the list several times. But
no, you won't have to convince me. We're just gonna eat that one, and I look forward to it. I really welcome it.
Yeah,
I had an aversion to him. This sounds so stupid, but my little sister loved The Labyrinth, and I was like, I hate this.
But he did the thing with the balls in his hands.
Yep. Wow, cool. Get this guy out of this freaky ass man yelling in the pyramid away from me.
He was also in Fire Walk with Me, the Twin Peaks movie.
No clue what that is.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
All right. Well, that was a fun one. Really happy to honor the Supremes and Diana Ross and everybody's favorite conductor, H.G.H. Sherman III. What was his name?
H.P. Barnum.
That's right. Barnum.
Yep.
What we got coming up next week?
Next week will be our 50th legitimate episode. This will be the 50th album we've covered. When we do next week's episode, it will be 10% of the way.
Can you believe that?
Oh, we're
10% of the way there.
We'll be doing the album First Take by the legendary Roberta Flack.
Oh, what a great way to bring it in.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Well, 10% of the way in, I tell you, my friend, I look forward to doing this every week with you. And to you, our listeners, we are so grateful for you. It's always nice over the week just to hear from our friends and some strangers. We got a nice piece of encouragement today that just put a smile on our face.
Yeah.
If you want to engage with us, it's really easy. You can catch us
on our email, backwardsbeatpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to hit us on Instagram, you can talk to us at backwardsbeatspodcast. But please be our friend. Join us over on Patreon. Completely free.
And man, the access to the things we can do on Patreon are so much cooler than what we can do on the other platforms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan can give you feed pics.
that will happen.
The other thing we need to talk about for just one moment is we are considering doing this live episode in this spring.
No. We're doing a live
I
episode.
tried to walk it back one step.
No,
Dan
no.
looks like he's about to punch
I'm about
me.
to punch you in the neck. Come on.
We're talking about this live episode, and this is where
We're
engagement.
producing a live episode now. We're going to be ready to do this in the spring.
Yes, you have my full engagement. With that said, we need to talk to you about it. So please, if you're interested in getting involved with this, you have some ideas for us. We have a rough idea of what we'll get through, and it'll be fine. But the more the merrier. Let us know what you'd like to see if you were to be sitting in the room with us while we're taping.
Yeah, so come on to Patreon because we're going to be sending out a poll. We're picking albums that we know are not on the list. But if you come over to Patreon, maybe you can influence us even more by not just choosing from our list, but picking an album that you think we should listen to.
Yeah, we would love that.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Really looking forward to this spring because we get to kind of keep moving this ball forward. We looked a few albums ahead recently, and it's just bangers. It's a really exciting spring of music, and I just look forward to celebrating it a little more.
That's the way love goes.
And with that, dear Janet Jackson, we love you. I'm Carl Carter Fansfield.
I'm Dan Woodard.
We'll talk to you next week.
That was a lot of music by Diana Ross and the Supremes. Legendary ladies, lucky listeners in the limelight.
Backwards Speeds Podcast is a Tuna Wood production recorded live at Thought Shack Studios in Halethorpe, Maryland.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us at Backwards Speeds Podcast on most platforms.
Share the love, and we'll see you next week for another deep dive into the next album on Rolling Stone Magazine's Top 500 list. Until then, salt your melons.